Hey guys, I am back. Last time we left off building the initial user onboarding flow, so from the website, and someone clicking on get started now, and then going into a simple flow of what you would like to remember, selecting what they want to remember, putting in the answers for the selections that they've made, and then we got into this page and we stopped. So I'm gonna proceed on working on creating this this box or this card to have a placeholder to have information for this, and then we're gonna just kind of mock it out like the same way we did last time and not spend time a lot on code design, not spend too much time on any like CSS design at all. As we start, you'll see that I've done zero of that, but really this is just a quick phase of me going through what I want to build and just kind of like dumping everything out. And we'll go through multiple iterations of me going through refactoring to get it to a final state. But like in the beginning, I actually just like to just kind of like put everything out there in terms of functionality, and then go back on how I plan on cleaning it out. Because in the beginning, you really don't know how the best way to structure things are, and it's just easier to put everything else out there first and then go back and refactor. So let's get to it. Cool. And I forget what the page was, but there was onboarding and questions is where we started. So onboarding questions. This will allow me to add the ones that I want, and then I can go to the next step of filling out answers. And let's say 11, 11, 20. Go 1, 1, 2000. And this is where we left off. So in regards to our design, the next thing to work on is just creating a little placeholder component to have this. And let me see, based on what I mocked out was mock out the index header card. This is a component that's going to take in number of items to be recalled, and based on that, the color and text and the CTA will change. So let's first mock out the component. How do I name this component? So it is a card for recall summary. I'll just call it that for now. And it's a template. I will give it a quick, nothing really. What should I have here? It's just the recall template card. Okay, and then in regards to what it accepts, it'll be props, and this is going to accept, I believe, just a number count of, let's just say item count, and then this is going to accept a number, and let's just say items to recall, and then let me just put item count. Okay. So in my index, I'm going to import, what happened here? Let's import the card recall summary from, is it with, okay, nice, components, card recall summary.view, and okay, and I should be able to card recall summary, and this accepts a number. What is it complaining about? Card recall summary. Exactly what, oh. So let's create a wrapper. Place that in there. Cap. And item count is going to be, let's just say 2. Item call to recall is a 2. And for the time being, I am going to just add a little border to this. I know I said I'm not going to work on CSS, but just so I can visualize it a little bit there, let me add a little border. Style, border, 1 pixel, solid green. And let me see that. Cool. Also, let me get into a mobile view, just because that is how I'm planning on starting. Okay, turn on device mode. Cool. Let's increase the size. Why does this seem so wide? But yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time on design. This will also have a button that says go recall, let's just say, and clicking on this will take the user, let's see, where would it take them? It's to the recall flow. Okay. Clicking on this is going to go to recall. Oops. Let me think. Router.push from index. So this is the onboarding index, it says, which technically shouldn't be the onboarding index. But let's just stick to that for now. Let me see. Let's go to recall. Okay, and then now I need to create a recall cards.view, which is going to have a div that says recalling for now. Let's see what this does. So let's click. This page cannot be found. Recall cards. I did create that, right? Recall cards is inside pages. Sometimes. Nux sometimes doesn't detect the new files that are created in pages, and you just have to restart. And let me see if that was the problem. It was not. What is going on? Let me see. I misspelled it. Recall cards. Okay. Let's see. Alright, now it's there. I do have to go through the flow because I'm currently not persisting any state. Let's do this again, add. And I am going to zoom in more. Can I do that? No, I can't. Why isn't there a higher zoom? It's so small. I'm just gonna put in some fake answers now. And then it says I got 2 items to recall, and then I'm gonna go to recall. And then here is now where we start putting in our recall logic of asking the answer and revealing, and depending on if they remembered or not, will increment our our streak for the Fibonacci count. Okay. So first thing I need here is a component that is, let's see, it's gonna be a card recall card. Yeah. Recall. Let's just call it recall. That's good enough. And I think it's just going to be a question that it accepts. So I'll have a question that it says. This is going to be a for loop. Questions. And this is now going to make questions available. So let's see, computed. And we're going to pull in questions from our store. So let's take a look at onboarding.js. And we have something called questions added. So let's see, we got the mutation, questions added is a getter, so let's use that. This store onboarding, oops, questions added. Okay, now that's done, I think this is again complaining about the key. Key is index. Again, this is not good practice, but we don't have IDs. Okay, now it's saying questions added of undefined. Gotcha. So the getter probably disappeared. Let's take a look at our view. What is going on? I guess since it completely aired out, it can't load DevTools. Let's see. Which means I'm gonna have to start over one more time. Boarding questions. Add. Okay, let's go to recall. Okay, cannot read property, questions added of undefined. So let's take a look real quick. You know, I don't know what's going on with my colors here. Oh, this is VX, cool. Okay, so in my state, I got questions added, and then we got getters, onboarding, questions added. It looks like it should be able to get it. Let me see what I'm doing wrong. This store, getters, onboarding, questions added. There we go. That should address the problem, but I have a feeling because this aired out, we're gonna have to start over again. Hopefully not. Okay. Did you register the component? Of course I didn't. Okay, card recall. It's a component I need to create. New file, card recall. Card, and this is accepting a question object, and for the time being I'm gonna just like dump the question object in here. Cool. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm gonna go back, recall. Seems like it's not updating to anything. Let me see. Recalling, it's got nothing. Let me see. Let me check the store one more time. Okay. Store getters should have worked. Output questions, see if that helps. It is there. I did not import my component. And it's gonna be card recall. Something's complaining about something. I am used to having these things automatically done for me. I need to configure my VS Code. Cool. Okay, recalling everything appears to have disappeared. So I'm gonna have to start over again. Onboarding questions. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna have to cut this short and actually go back and start thinking about how I'm going to persist data, or else like this process is going to be pretty gruesome of having to restart over every single time. I guess another option is I can just kind of mock out the questions added and not worry about that yet. Okay, so let's go to the recall card. Okay, so we got this. So first thing is we need to show the question, show the current page or the current page or card index of how many cards total, and then a reveal button. So let's work on that first. Okay, so we also need a current index or current, I'll just call it current index. This will be a number, and total cards count, total card count. Okay. Actually, let's just call it total recall count. Let's see. Recall cards, and then now I need to add in or pass in the props. So total recall count equals questions dot length and current. Where is that? Current index equals index. All right. And then once that is there, I should be able to have a little span area where I can put current index plus 1 and total recall count. I apologize for the noise. Daughter is not sleeping today. But it looks like she's going to sleep soon. Cool. So I got my cards here that are showing up now. 1 of 2, 2 of 2. And I just need to show the question. Okay. Showing what is my birthday. Okay, let's change this to an H1. Okay. Answer, cool. And then the other thing I need is a button that says reveal. Why it's showing up? What happened? Why is my button not showing up? just too small for me to see, but there's a button there now. Okay. Now, upon pressing reveal, what are we doing? We are toggling the state and showing the answer, and then the buttons change. So let's do that. Get rid of the ASDF. Okay. And I'm going to just put a VF here. Reveal. And then let's introduce a data state that returns reveal is false. Okay, and that shows if it's false. And this will show in the else condition. And on click, this is going to be reveal is true. And this will also only show if reveal, oh no, this has gotta be the other way. Alright. And then this is gonna show the answer. And here, I'm going to use the template syntax because two new buttons will appear. else. And let's add in the button. One button, two button. Okay. I can get rid of that. And then on click, we're going to handle, let's see, handle result. Okay, let's call it result. And this is going to be the first one that's down there is a no, so handle result is a false, and the answer is going to be no. And then handle result true, and this is a yes. Okay. I do need to create the method. So handle result. I'll just call it result. And when this is given, we need to update the store of the questions. So in onboarding, I need a action that will update the questions streak number. Okay, right now our quick question doesn't care about streak, but I'm going to instantiate it, and I believe in my other code base in the CLI, I did instantiate it with 1 from the beginning, so that's what I'm going to do here. And then now that we have a question, we're going to create a new action that says, should it be increment streak? Should it be set streak? I'm going to go with set question streak for the time being. Okay. Commit, and then this is going to accept the question and then the streak. Okay, so commit set question. Do I have a set question? Save answer. Set question state. Let's actually call this set streak as well, and this is going to accept a question and streak. Very redundant, as I talked about before, and this is going to say streak equals streak. This feels like it's pointless, but I'm gonna go with it for now. Because eventually the set question will be doing more things than just calling commit. So you know, it starts to make more sense a little bit later. And I'm gonna just pass back cat. All right, now that this is done, let's test out. Oh, it's not done. Store, dispatch, onboarding. What did I call this again? Set question streak. Set question streak. Going to pass in the question, which is this question, and then the streak is this question streak +1. Okay. Now we can test it out. Still outputting all that. Okay, I can get rid of it later. Let's see if reveal works. Reveal is not working. And I can't tell if it's because I'm not clicking on it or not. Okay, I am clicking on it. Let's just do that. So my click handler of review equals true. Let me just output review here. See what it says. Okay, reveal is true. So that changed. For some reason, it wasn't taking effect before, but it might have just because I haven't refreshed in a while. I'm gonna press reveal. Again, it didn't do it. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but just to be sure, I'm going to, okay. This is where I go and say, let's just hard code this into the state so I don't have to keep on doing it over and over. Here's my questions, cards added. Where's my questions template? Okay. Where are you? Where's my onboarding store? I got too many things open. Okay. Call this fake questions. What are you complaining about? Okay. Okay, now that I have questions, let me think. How do I add this? I can call a map function, which is so fake questions dot map queue, and then I'm gonna call create question on the queue, and that should do it. And that should give me my initial state here. Awesome. Now I got too many cards though, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. And if I click on review, this time it should work. Review. Great, 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 great. Okay. Although I'm not seeing the answer. What's going on? How come we don't have an answer? Because we didn't go through that step. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now if you refresh and do this again, the answer for the first one should be 1. I feel like I'm still not seeing it. I am still not seeing it. Why is that answer still blank? I just added it in. Oh, I'm initializing it to that. So it's going to be question.answer or like, okay. Let's go. All right, much better. Okay. So let's just get the yes and no to work. Meaning we need to go to recall cards. Card recall. And the handle result here. Handle oh, we already have that. Okay. Handle result. And this is wrong. So this should actually either do a decrement or an increment. And okay, streak modification, streak modifier equals result. If it's true, then it's a 1. If it's false, it's a -1. And I'm going to add the streak modifier now. And now that should be good. Alright, let's give this a shot. Review. No. Unknown local mutation type set question. Okay. I remember I did not rename this. This should have been called the same method name set question streak, I believe. Let's look at my oh shit, it says a streak. Set question streak, set question streak. I'm not following conventions now. Like, I've unfollowed so many conventions that following one convention breaks another. So I just have to choose. And I'm gonna choose to break my older convention, which was, I think, wrong. Okay. Let's do this again. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, it's not working. Review. Yes. Yes, yes. Actually, it is working. I just don't have anything that changes that. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, upon doing this, if it has been answered, that component should no longer be updatable, meaning they can't click on it, because I'm like clicking on it like crazy right now. So I'm going to have a submitted state, which is false, and these yes and no's will only be disabled if submitted. Okay. Okay, so once submitted, it will not be clickable again. And then handle result. When they do click, one of the things that it should do is actually just set it to true. This submitted equals true. And when we catch the error like on this, we can revert it back to false if for some reason there was an API error, but we're not thinking about that just now. Okay, review, yes, cool. And then the streak became 13. What is going on? Okay, for number 2, streak is 1. Okay, so if I increment, great. I guess it's because I clicked on it like crazy last time. Great. It is all incrementing. Cool. Okay, this is where I guess like I need to start thinking about also bringing in and refactoring the main Spacetime library from the CLI and using the logic that's already been built there, so I don't have to have duplicate code. I'm not going to be doing that today. I do just want to get through it all, and I think the last thing for me to do here is basically using the streak modifier now, or the streak count, to set a date. And just like I did before, I'm only gonna be using that to just, generate something, basic for the time being. As like, I don't want to import all the various libraries individually. I want to actually import in the Spacetime library, but that's going to require some refactoring. So let me think about this. I think at the same time, it may be easy. Let me reconsider this for a little bit, but and see if I want to put an end to this stream, because I may be at a roadblock where I can't progress. So let me see. So let's see. That's like design related mock-out recall card, which I did. That's okay. Mock-out you're done card. Okay, I need a you're done card. Let's do that. Once everything is done, once you have recalled everything, a next button should show. Okay. And honestly, like every single one of this, like right now, is appearing in that list. So like really only one of them should be showing up at the same time. So let's actually do that. That's something easy to do. Card recall. And I guess in order for me to do that, I need to keep track of handling something that calls on next. Okay, so I'm gonna just call this handle next, and handle next, which will increment this current index. Current index is index. I'm starting to see some flaws in the component design at this point. In a way, the loop can be even deeper inside this card and handle it some other way. But we will do it this way for now. So let's create our local state of current index. Will start at 0. Handle next will increment that. I don't know if I'm gonna need a back, so I'm not gonna put that in yet. And then in my card recall, whenever it's submitted, actually, so else if submitted, this is not submitted, and then we'll have a final else now, which has a button for next, which will on click emit next. Okay, I think that should work. Let's try it out. Oh, I didn't finish yet. So in my for loop, I have this, and I'm gonna have a v show for if the index equals current index, only show if the index matches the current index. Okay, so now I believe we'll only show one at a time. I go review, I answer yes, and then I go next. Review, answer yes, next. Review, yes, next. And while I'm doing this, I'm avoiding one because that's gonna put my streak to 0, and I know that's a bug. But great. This is the state where we should have had a next button show up that takes them to the final card or finish card, but that needs to be handled here. So if the current index, if this current index is greater than this questions dot length, that would mean it's probably just greater or equal. It is a safe time to push this router that push to the recall complete state. So I can either do that. You know what? I don't need to do that right now. Let's just create a state here, and I'm going to say all that will disappear. I will have a card recall finished, which will only show if the current index equals questions.length. Okay, meaning I do need to work on creating this card, what did I call it? Card recall finished from components, card recall finished. Okay, let's make this card. I'll copy that, paste it in, and rename it. Card recall finished. And really, this, what did it do? It has some kind of hooray image. Not really, but it says you're all cut up. You're H1, you're all caught up. And then there's a button that says done. Done. Okay, now that's done. The done goes back all the way to the index. Okay, so let's say click. I think that should work. Let's try this. Final one next. You're all cut up. Done. Index. It does send me there. But 3000 index. Pages. Onboarding. I do have an index, but that index is not the same index. Okay, I'm going to fix this now. Get rid of this index, and it should really be this index over there. Okay, and then this should make it work. go through all this again. Done. And why are you not working? Again, I did not fix the actual redirect yet. This should just go to slash. When they're done, take them back to the main page. So give this one last shot. Next, you're all cut up, done. Cool. Items to recall. This is gonna stay like this for now. I do need to implement all the ask again time logic that we've done and bring over the Spacetime library in here to handle all that logic again. And you know, I will be doing that on the next live stream. It feels like, again, nobody's really been on this time, but for somebody that finds this video in the future, hope you enjoyed watching it, and you know, stay tuned, because as this gets prettier and I start adding styles, I think it's gonna be a more meaningful project, and it should be pretty interesting. All right, have a good one.